Following episode 9 of The Pitt being released and there being a news broadcast about the water park catastrophe, the trailer for episode 10 looks like it's going to be focused on that. We've got Dr. Robby talking about potentially not returning, Dr. Langdon and Dr. Santos reigniting their feud, Dr. Mohan looking like she's going to collapse, and Joy showing us that she's definitely more of an afternoon person rather than a morning one. So with that, I wanted to break down the trailer and also give my theories and predictions on what I think will happen next. So let's get into it. Here is the Pitt Season 2 Episode 10 trailer explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. So the trailer opened up with Ogilvie speaking with Robby, and they were on top of the roof, just like what Langdon and Dr. Robby were a few episodes back. They're most likely up there following the water park accident, and somebody's going to be in a condition where they might need to be airlifted in. Ogilvie said, "This place is relentless," and I found it quite funny because at the end of episode 9, we literally had Emma, another newcomer, saying a similar thing to Dana when she asked, "Is every day like this?" So it showed that the reality of the working life for the newbies went far beyond their wildest imagination, and it was far more chaotic than what they originally thought it would be. Dr. Robby responded to Ogilvie and said, "Holiday weekend, we're not normally offline." I feel like this was Dr. Robby trying to make Ogilvie see that, yeah, it's always going to be busy and chaotic, but with the blackout being present and there being patients brought in from all over the place, he's probably going to have one of his most chaotic days ever right now. So it could always get better. Ogilvie then responded and said, "I think we have a very different idea of normal. So even though Robby will be trying to make the situation a bit better, I somehow don't think it's going to make it any easier in Ogilvie's mind." The fact that it started with Ogilvie does actually make me question if it could be a bit of an Ogilvie-centric episode. We've not spent much time with him outside of the odd moment here and there, and with us finding out a little bit more about his backstory in the previous episode where we learned that his father never really gave him any praise or shared that he was proud of him. It makes me question if this could be the episode where we see the more human side to Ogilvie. I feel like we have to at some point, right? Otherwise he's just going to continue to be this annoying character that nobody really likes. Once we were done with them on the roof, we saw Ogilvie with a patient, and he had a look of shock on his face as he was lowering down his leg that appeared to be covered in blood. So I'm presuming this could be one of the water park fatalities that we heard about on the news broadcast. The next part of the trailer then saw Dr. Hashimi saying, "Santos, trauma incoming, assist Dr. Langdon." Dr. Santos looked like she was catching up on her charting, which she seems to be obsessed with during this season, and there was a look of concern on her face and a look of skepticism on Langdon's face too. Based on what happened in the first season of the show, where Langdon lashed out at Dr. Santos, I imagine that's something that still sits within her mind. Let's be honest, he was cruel to her in front of everybody, and I do wonder if she's going to have properly gotten over it yet. I imagine there's still some hard feelings there, so we might see those rising to the surface when they're dealing with the patient. After this, we then saw the trauma patient from the water park screaming and Dr. Langdon saying, "We got you," and Dr. Santos almost rolled her eyes at Dr. Langdon, so I feel like a clashing could potentially be on the horizon. This was also intercut with Dr. Garcia saying to Dr. Santos, he's here to stay, which I'm imagining is going to be the both of them talking about Dr. Langdon, and she then gave her the advice to put on her big girl panties and work it out. This is something that I imagine Dr. Santos didn't really want to hear, and I think it also shows the blunt nature that Dr. Garcia has. She's not here for the emotional stuff, she wants to keep it casual, and that's something that Dr. Santos doesn't quite seem to be getting. The next part of the trailer then had Dr. Javadi walking out of a room with the patient in, which I imagine is going to be Roxy as it was in complete darkness. She was then sitting down at her desk with a look of concern on her face as if she was upset at seeing the decline in Roxy and the family that she was leaving behind. Dr. McKay then said to her, "We have to create emotional boundaries for ourselves." Dr. Javadi is fresh to the game, and with her feeling the weight of responsibility of the patient that was in her care almost dying, and then in the other room seeing Roxy's light starting to dim, I imagine it's a lot of weight that Dr. Javadi is going to be carrying on her shoulders. I did actually find it quite funny because as that line about emotional boundaries was being said, it also cut to Dr. Javadi's mother looking over at her. So it showed that the piece of dialogue actually had two meanings. With both of her parents trying to push her into different directions in terms of her career, that's something else that she's going to be feeling on her shoulders too. She said to her mother, "I can handle it," and she responded and said, "You're better than this." So I believe there's going to be a level of disappointment that her mother has in her for choosing to stay in the ER. The look on Javadi's face spoke 1,000 words. It was as if she couldn't believe that her mother had just said that to her, and it was almost like she was just going to cut her loose in terms of the workplace and just crack on with what it is that she wants to do. The next part of the trailer then cut to the patient from the water park that was originally screaming, and he said, "Where's my son?" And from there, we then saw the young boy being brought in and Dr. Hashimi looking to take the lead on it. So I imagine his son is going to be in more of a critical condition than what he is. There was a piece of dialogue that Dr. Robby said over a quick succession of shots, which was, "This is the ED, it's not for the faint of heart." This was as Dr. Hashimi was looking down at the young boy who was in a bad way, and I imagine she's going to be getting flashbacks to when she was in areas of conflict in the Middle East. This is why she froze a couple of episodes back, and also why she paused when she saw baby Jane Doe right at the beginning of the season. So I think we might finally get a bit more of an insight into Dr. Hashimi's past. Dr. Hashimi then said the next piece of dialogue to Dr. Robby, which was, "What do you need to get some basic human empathy back?" To which he laughed at her. So it shows that the disagreements that they've had might actually reach boiling point during this episode. Maybe he's going to say something to her about the way that she's reacting to the young boy. We've seen Robby going deeper and deeper within his mind over the course of this season, and whilst it might seem like he's not got any empathy, I think it's a mask that he's wearing that he can hide behind so it doesn't actually look like he's struggling. From here, we then saw Joy saying to Dr. Mohan, "You don't look too good." And to be fair, she didn't. She was sweating a lot and she looked like she was going to pass out. Alongside this, we then saw Joy saying to Dr. Mohan, "Get in," as she had a wheelchair, to which she said that she was okay. But then Joy said, "Get in the effing chair," as she then wheeled her out of the waiting room. Joy wasn't prepared to take no for an answer. Now, I've actually come to really like Joy. She started as a character that felt like she was a little bit like Ogilvie in the sense that she just wanted to one-up everybody and was short with them. But over the course of the shift, we've seen her quite literally embody the fact that she's not a morning person. And ultimately, the connections that she's made with other characters, along with the empathy that we've seen, has shown true growth, and it's been really enjoyable watching her on screen. She's a great addition to the show. As well as all of the chaos that we're going to be seeing, I feel like we're also going to be seeing the outcome of Mel's deposition and the answer to what's actually wrong with her sister Becca. It got a large focus in the most recent episode, and I can't see it not getting touched on at all. I also feel like we're going to see Roxy's decline too. Sadly, we're gradually seeing the life in her start to fade, and she's coming to the conclusion that she doesn't actually want to be there anymore. We know that she's having more and more morphine, and with Dr. Robby mentioning that a side effect of that could be death, it does make me wonder if she's going to end up passing away because of that. Now, we've still got 5 episodes to go, and I'm really glad that we do. It's great that this isn't just an 8-episode season. It allows us to have more time with the characters and more time to actually feel immersed within the universe of the show, so I'm pleased. So, there you have it, the Pitt Season 2 Episode 10 trailer explained. If you want to see more videos on the Pitt Season 2, then check the playlist below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. What do you think will happen next? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.